Hello everyone, today is RSI, Origin, Argo, Thumbril and Consolidated Outland Day. We have Scorpius, a heavy fighter with a turret and a lot of problems. She has 4 size 3 gun mounts in the turret and 4 size 3 gun mounts at her wingtips. You cannot fire the guns anymore when wings are retracted, and when wings are not retracted you have a lot of convergence problems even if you can lock on to a target. You cannot hit nearby target, you cannot hit things you cannot lock onto, for example, people or vehicles on the ground. I don't know why CRG always goes for the worst ideas. Okay, this is really funny. This shows exactly what's bad with wingtip guns. You can see the turret guns hitting the target, but wingtip guns are mostly just flying left and right of the target because distance is too short and your wingtip guns cannot converge on this target. Well, I'm repeating myself over and over again, but wingtip guns are bad on so many levels without giving you any advantage. I guess being cool is more important than having a functional ship design. Yeah, go Chris. We have antares. Instead of a turret you have EMP, which is controlled by the second person. Yeah, second person is controlling EMP and snare and doesn't even have any HUD elements. You don't even know when your EMP is fully charged. Antares is a total meme ship, one of the worst ideas ever. And she has the same terrible wingtip guns as base Scorpius. Oh, and good luck finding someone who sits in a second seat and wants to push 2 buttons like every 5 to 15 minutes. Aurora LN, nothing good or bad to say about the ship, it's kinda average. Constellations, Andromeda, Taurus, Aquila and Phoenix. I like constellations, but they have lots of problems. Cockpit is total strut galore. John Cruz said they want to make it less strutty. CRG had a big chance with introduction of the Taurus, but no, they just gave us the Taurus without reworking the cockpit. I think there's still hope. Yeah, I like those ships, but they have lots of problems. One is they are way too sluggish for their mass. CRG has stats like mass, shape, mass distribution, but CRG always totally ignores their own stats. A ship is as agile or sluggish as CRG wants it to be. Mantis, it's your ship to pull other ships out of Quantum, so far the only ship that has this ability, so if you need this, you should buy a Mantis. Mustangs, I am not a big fan of Mustangs, I think they do quite alright, so I cannot tell you much about those ships. Origin 3.19 actually I like this ship, not the best dogfighter, but she can do quite okay, could need a little bit more agility. And we have Origin 125A. Yeah, Origin 100 series could be very nice ships, but they are way overpriced. If they would be like between $40 and $50, they would be fine, but at the current price of Origin 100 series, no way. Don't buy those. Argo MPUV. I like the ship, actually I like it a lot. Her job is to ferry cargo and people from a ship in orbit down to the ground, but she doesn't even have a short-range quantum jump drive. Yeah, this ship really needs a short-range quantum jump drive, otherwise she cannot really do her job. Nova Tank. This thing is as big as a house. Why? Because CRG insists on a standing walkable interior and people NPCs are Michelin men. Yeah, this thing could be way smaller and would even fit into Valkyrie, and it only has -5 degrees of gun depression. Why? Because some genius put a flashlight gun sight under the barrel, limiting gun depression to only -5 degrees. In the game, terrain is not flat, we don't want flat terrain, so quite often you cannot even hit anything when you are a little bit higher. Modern tanks have around -10 degrees of gun depression. Yeah, I don't know why CRG never has any common sense. This is so silly. Cyclones, actually I like Cyclones, but once again CRG has no common sense. By the way, this part should be at a 6 o'clock position, not at a 9 o'clock position. You have a cogwheel inside the rim. How well would this work when sand and stones get inside? Not very well. Chris, we know how to make wheels. Why do we have to reinvent the wheel and make it 100 times worse than what we have today? About Cyclone MT, you have a turret. Look, no protection, no shield, nothing. And you have missiles. What would happen if you would fire those missiles? Yeah, the guy in the turret would get burned. Come on, give him some protection at least. Argo SRV, your tow truck. And I still wonder how this is supposed to work. Does CRG take into consideration that exhaust gases of Argo SRV shouldn't hit the thing you are towing? Otherwise, this would be zero net trust. But knowing it's CRG, they just won't care. Polaris. I bought a concept a long while ago, and she won't be in a game in the next 2 or 3 years. Perseus. Another ship that is not needed for Squadron 42 and won't be in a game anytime soon. I wonder if we can still hit small fighters with those guns. I guess no, because CRG will find a reason why you cannot hit small fighters with big guns. We have Rangers, your motorcycles, still not in the game, and look at those wheels. Again, poor fantasy, doesn't make any sense, because Chris loves Rule of Cool. And we have the new Storm tank. And look at this. Very low ground clearance. I mean, this thing will get stuck on every small boulder. You also have double tracks on each side for no benefit. I mean, it's a game. Some leeway is totally fine. But I really would prefer it if CRG would have some level of common sense. Some very small level of, okay, it's a tank, let's give a tank some ground clearance. But you don't even get this. This thing won't be able to drive around moons and planets. Origin G12, not sure when we will see her in the game. I hope you found this interesting and helpful, and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Station. Stand clear.
What the fuck?
Momentarily.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.